Could say the same for you, but we did have an instance actually earlier on in the DPC where you did disconnect and I solo casted, and I had a wonderful time. So part of me kind of hoping you just fall asleep.
To be fair,
I can do this
I
on
was
my own.
also solo casting. Neither of us could hear each other. It was actually a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for both of us. Enjoyed it quite a bit. Let's talk about this game, Cinder. And obviously, this is the winner of this will face off against Quincy Crew in the upper bracket finals. We did see a Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
We cast it before, and it was on Jerax, if you remember, during the DPC season.
It worked.
It worked well.
It worked well that game.
I remember you and everybody else, myself included, not understanding why it was picked because it didn't have like the cast against creeps. It didn't have like these obvious synergy. It was literally just the Voodoo Restoration, like you said, and it was mostly for the laning stage, like to try to win the lane, and then later on it's just like very annoying to kill a Witch Doctor that has a leveled up Voodoo Restoration. So that's how it worked that game. Not sure if it's going to work out this time around, but this time they have way more heals than the previous time we cast, for sure, with IO and Legion on top of that.
By far. Yeah, it's the biggest question mark once again. I just feel like whenever I see Witch Doctor picked and it's not against tanky heroes, or like you said, against Chen or Enchantress, you know, the classic things that you want to cast, Beastmaster.
Yeah.
I do wonder what the reasoning is here, but maybe we'll get an answer to this with this way EG start out their laning. This is very interesting. They're starting out an offensive tri-lane with IO, Witch Doctor, plus the Luna. This is a very strong tri-lane, and that's where Witch Doctor can shine. He's very, very good in tri-lanes. He has good attack damage. The cask is, you know, more likely to be impactful the more heroes are in the lane that it can bounce to. Maledict does a lot more when you have 3 heroes in the lane because then you have more damage to ramp up. So I kind of like the idea of that. And they're going to leave Nightfall in a 1v2 against Monkey King Troll. He's not going to be having a good time whatsoever as a result of that.
Definitely a rough game for him. And, I mean, he's had a rough time being on EG in general. A lot of it has to do with the fact that he obviously can't get a visa to get into the U.S. as Jerax is going to get taken out. So that's first blood the way of Saberlight as TSM on the board officially.
Yeah, so they didn't really play their tri-lane like a tri-lane in that instance, right? They basically isolated a 2v2 out in the jungle with IO plus Witch Doctor against Viper Bane. You don't win that. You just don't win it. So a bit of a blunder from EG. What they did accomplish was to get Arteezy the first wave for free, or the second wave, but at the cost of a first blood going the way of the Viper, which he's going to be very happy about, hoping to get his first CS sometime soon on Saberlight.
I'm sure he'll get it at some point. Nightfall has to press the attack to stay out of harm's way, but he, like you said, is going to be in a pretty rough spot as Moon Meander playing that support Monkey King with the ridiculous range that comes with picking that hero. Still considered melee, of course, somehow.
This lane matchup is so terrible for the Legion. See, that's the thing that has me a little bit concerned here. If EG are running this aggro trying to enable Arteezy and they are successful, like, what's it going to cost on the other side of the map? Nightfall, Legion Commander as a position 3 that gets destroyed in lane, I feel like it just doesn't offer that much, right? Like, then you really do become the press the attack bot when you don't have stats to fight with. You know, Moon Meander, at least they're having a good time here, high-fiving.
I'm so glad they implemented that as part of the game now, not tied to a battle pass. But let's talk about the Troll, by the way. Tomato playing Troll Warlord. This is a hero that it had a lot of success about a year ago, and then it just dropped off a freaking cliff as Saberlight going to be taken out in the top lane. So they end up getting the trade eventually in bottom lane. Nightfall continuing to get chased by Moon Meander. Looks like he'll be able to get out for now, though. But yeah, talk to me about the Troll.
It has some good matchups this game and some good pairings in its own team, right? Troll loves to play with heroes that allow him to reach his target. He just needs to get in the first few hits, and then he can generally do the work on his own. He's playing with Viper Strike. He's playing with the Vortex from Storm. He's playing with Fiend's Grip. Even Monkey King Stun is actually kind of nice to connect with. Not the best, but he also has a slow. And his core matchups in this game, I think, are very good. The hero's great against Legion, as we've already seen in the first 3 minutes.
Yep.
And it's very good against Luna, in my opinion. You do want to buy items that allow you to just run in and hit the Luna head on. She will always lose that exchange unless she's heavily overfarmed. And you're also a natural BKB buyer, which kind of counters the rest of the enemy lineup, right? If you BKB as Troll in this game, what's going to kill you? I don't really think anything. So there's an alternate path here where you don't buy it at all as well. If you get farmed enough with a Battle Fury Scotty, perhaps you can bypass it, get the quick Scotty for the healing reduction. curious to see what Tomato thinks.
Yeah, as we're going to see a cask up top, trying to take out Saberlight yet again. And it's looking like it might be successful, but Moonmeander has made his way down here. He's going to focus on Jerax for now, but Saberlight's going to go down first, so it still ends up being a 1-for-1 in favor of EG. As you can see, Crit kind of separating here from Arteezy, but looks like they'll get out just fine.
Dude, look at the CS. I don't know. This is interesting. One offlaner has 8 CS, the other has 1.
1.
Minute 4, 1 CS in your own safe lane.
Yeah,
that is a rare sight. Saberlight is... We were talking about Legion getting shut down. The Viper has no creeps to his name, but has 2 kills, so still can afford the Urn of Shadows. And
he's level 2, by the way, versus the level 4 Nightfall in LC. So as bad as Nightfall's lane has been, that is so weird. That's quite the trade of sorts, I suppose.
Yep, the 4 Monkey King has more CS than the 3 Viper minute 5. He's 3 and 5 on MK.
He probably just got those by accident too.
Yeah. Maybe he cleaned up after the Viper died. Finally, the CS got put to use. But yeah, I like the rotation from Moonmeander here. They've built enough of a gap bottom that Tomato should be able to win this lane 1v1. So he'll be happily farming here as the troll against Legion.
I have a question about Troll, because it's one of my favorite heroes in the game. It just feels like the ult is just terrible for the most part. Like, very uncontrollable. I feel like that's actually an ult that's going to get changed in the next patch. I actually would almost expect it, along with maybe Underlord or something like that. But with these like Yule Scepters, just anything to kite, is there like a type of lineup? We're going to see a coil actually used in the mid lane, and looks like this might be a kill, and indeed it is. So Bryle takes a tumble. Very big kill there for EG. They might lose Jerax again, but again, support for the mid essentially across the board.
What were you saying about Troll ults?
Well, basically, is it consistent enough? Like, because it feels like a lot of games we see that even if Troll gets a ton of farm, he just gets kited, like late game. When people get Yule Scepters, when they get like just any item that feels like a Force Staff, literally anything to kite this hero.
I'm kind of with you. I don't like it that much by design because it takes away agency from you as a player in a way, right? I mean, the agency is, do I press my button or not? But then after that, you can just take your hands off the keyboard for a long duration. Yeah, got punished there trying to shut down Arteezy's farm.
But I guess my question is, because there's some lineups that feel like they're stronger against Troll in that like kiting game, but a lot of it comes down to itemization as well, right?
Yeah, and at the same time, that kiting problem has always been a problem for Troll, also before this ult, right? So if you gave him his old ult back, you would still be doing... he would still have some similar weaknesses, right?
But he would buff the rest of his team.
Yeah, that's true.
That's something. Yeah, it should be interesting to see
what if you made Battle Trance the Shard, and then the current Shard in a better version, the ult?
So back to normal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't used to have a Shard, right?
That's true. The Shard is an interesting concept for sure. The fact that it's dynamic in nature. Something we rarely get to actually see.
It'd be an insane Shard, though. Imagine the current ult as a Shard.
Yeah, just buff the numbers, because we saw it at TI. It was not impressive. As Dubu gets up a Nightmare, but just a couple right clicks onto Crit. And we'll call it a day. As Nightfall has made his way to the top lane, has duel now. So does this mean they want to swap things out? Does Arteezy go into the triangle? As he's about to hit level 5 right now. I mean, right now it's just Jerax in the bot lane. Okay, they are going to get the coil again in the mid lane. Bryle might be dying a second time, but no, zips away just as the coil goes out, and Dubu ends up TPing really for no reason.
Yeah, they actually brought Arteezy to this gank on the Luna.
Really?
Rotated mid with a level 1 Lucent Beam. It almost made the difference.
Oh, wow. Boundless Strike with another Toxin applied from Saberlight. And I was going to say, it feels like if Nightfall is going to be left up there, he's just going to drop eventually. And he does so pretty much right away. I mean, that's a terrible matchup no matter what lane he goes to, it feels like. Would you like to play against Viper or Troll Warlord? / Monkey King?
Yeah, probably Troll.
Sure. Nope. Bryle getting some company here from the rest of his TSM brothers. And yeah, this is, as the panel was discussing, the first official match under the TSM org for the former Undying squad. And this, I think, is their first proper boot camp as well, including TI, if I'm not mistaken. It's Nightfall. Because they've had like some hybrid type boot camps.
I do think they boot camped for TI.
It was community funded. It wasn't like, it's not like this legit, right?
No, for sure not.
So
You
see
saw
if that
the
ends up as-
interview room that Moon Meander used. I think their previous boot camp didn't have an interview room.
No, it was
But you
probably a
never know.
bathroom or something. Multi-purpose.
That's very good.
Very
Has
efficient.
good acoustics in there for the interview.
Yeah.
Very
why
good
not?
audio quality.
Don't knock it till you tried it, Cinderin. So Tomato has his perseverance, so is going for the Battle Fury, as you talked about. It feels like it's a choice between that or Maelstrom. A lot of times is top lane. Initiation, Viper Strike applied, and that is going to be enough to take out Arteezy. So pretty big kill for TSM again in this top lane.
Yeah, Arteezy is level 5.
Yeah.
Minute 9 on the carry.
And Tomato's 8.
And that's what happens, right? When you transition like this and leave the carry in a 1v1 matchup that's favorable and he just gets to free farm. And his farm, Luna's also falling very far behind here. And the stacks, they have some decent stacks. The problem is Arteezy can't farm these Ancients for a good while. Like, this skill build just doesn't cut it. He probably needs maybe level 7 or 8, so he has enough points in the glaives to actually get to work there with the IO. And that just means that Tomato should be ramping up his GPM more so than the Luna for the next 5 minutes or so, and create a pretty significant gap between the two of them. It's already almost 1,000.
Yeah, the fact that he has the lead before he even has Battle Fury is not obviously a good sign for EG. But Luna, one of those heroes that can definitely catch up. So 1K, no, it's actually so distracting seeing the Undying look. Can they not? Oh, wait, on our screen, interesting. On the screen that we're watching, okay, I think they might have physically put that logo up there because in-game it still is the Undying logo.
Swapping it.
There we go.
Swapping
Swapping it back and forth there, thank you. Production on top of things. That's actually really strange that you can't change that yet, though.
What
isn't it?
if TSM FTX lose, right before they lose, they switch it to the Undying logo, so it doesn't look
Undefeated!
like undefeated.
You can't beat us! That's a good idea.
Every time they mess
like
up
that's
a fight,
something-
it was Undying.
You're giving ideas to Arkosh right now.
That's
pretty
actually...
sure. So a little stack will be taken out here by Arteezy and Crit.
Yeah, so level 7 was the threshold he needed, and then he got it. And this actually happened faster than I thought. Did they give him the tome?
I know they bought it on Aya, so maybe he swapped it over.
Yeah, I think he Arteezy leveled up way too fast there to not get the tome, right? I'm pretty sure he was given that.
If only that happened in pubs.
That the carry got the tome? Yeah, that
Sometimes
would be
it
great.
does. Well, he buys it himself, but that was bought by the support, and he gave it to him graciously, right? So no hard feelings.
Yeah. It's good teamwork.
You don't sound convinced, as Moon Meander is going to ensure that this bottom tower is taken out.
Yep. And in the meantime, they immediately rotate here. Dubu playing a nice defensive position behind Saberlight. I really like this play from TSM FTX here because, you know, you're going to get this bottom tower for free. And the natural counterplay for EG is to try to make some pressure of their own in the top half. They want to open up so that Luna gets access to more space. And they're immediately just placing Viper there as like this wall that has a level 4 Nightmare behind it and a Fiend Script. Pushing the top tower is going to prove really difficult for EG here. I actually don't know how they open it up. And if they don't, you're just, realistically speaking right now, you have access to 40% of the map, right? You see Bryle farming an extra 2 neutral camps bottom, and EG don't have access to the counterpart in the same way. It's not safe. Where Nightfall is farming right now, he is exposed. If they had vision here, they could just go and kill the Legion Commander. He will get 1 camp at least, but yeah, definitely a really good look right now for TSM here. 2K lead.
Production, could we put the TSM logo back up? Because they are winning right now, and if they go below the threshold, then we can put back the Undying logo. So we have the initiation again onto Arteezy bottom, but Crit is there with the save.
Bryle
So
just trying
things are
to poke out a relocate here, I believe.
Yeah. Abed. All right, a nice cask, though. Coming out. Have you felt the presence of Jerax? Like the Witch Doctor pick, has it felt like it was needed?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Game's
so far.
not over
yet. It has not won me over
Okay.
in any way just yet.
Very good.
And I don't think it will, because I'm looking at the lineups, and I just have a hard time seeing the Cask or the Maledict being a game changer, and Death Ward might be one of the worst ultis in Dota right now. Objectively speaking, yeah, Death Ward's just not very good.
What if it wasn't channeling, but it did 25% damage?
That would be absolutely awful.
50% damage.
That would be pretty bad.
75% damage.
That would be pretty good.
Okay.
Actually,
go.
very good, probably.
Just did that for Ice Frost.
You know, there
You're
used to
welcome.
be the
Ricky.
very first
Yeah.
version. Oh, you remember this. You're so old. This was going to be a trivia, and you just know it. There was a.
Sorry.
For those of you who are under 30, there was a hero in Dota 1. The original Death Ward hero was actually Ricky. And Ricky started with permanent invisibility on level 1, and then he could level up Death Ward, and it was not channeling.
Yeah.
So he could smoke screen people, Death Ward them from Invis. It was very broken.
We have a coil. This is actually in the game, so we can talk about that a little bit more relevant here. There's the Death Ward. Synderen just called it the worst ultimate in the game,
That's
but EG finds good use of it. Now Crit gets applied with the Viper Strike. Looks like he'll end up dropping here. Nope, actually relocates to safety. And Jarek's still inside that Wukong's command, but it's just a support Monkey King.
Oh,
Abed phase shifts a right click, but will live through the day, gets the kill. In the meantime, gets off the illusory orb as well, and is still being healed thanks to... Why are we looking at their faces? There's still action on the screen, for God's sake. All right, it's over. We can look at their faces again.
Yeah, so not a good fight there for Undying. You do wish that it was TSM FTX playing that one, but they do end up losing that 1-2. Honestly, you know what? Witch Doctor actually did quite a bit of work there. The Voodoo Restoration, I think, helped keep IO, or rather the Puck alive, and the Death Ward and Cask did have pretty meaningful impact there. Jarek's will be in trouble here. I mean, I'm just a hater, right? Like, who am I to question what these guys pick? But I will question it, so.
I won't. I think it's great. They're 1-0 with Witch Doctor.
That was definitely a high impact fight for the Witch Doctor, though. So definitely in this scenario, it paid off really well. Jarek's got a good cask. He got a lot of damage out of the Death Ward under those circumstances. And did help keep the Puck alive. So nicely structured fight for EG. It does end up being a 2-for-2 in the end, but I think that's a good trade for them considering who they got killed off. Arteezy.
Yeah, Mumian are spotting them out, so looks like there's a ward there for them as well. There's TSM. Still up 2K right now. And I mean, going into this game, I mean, we've talked about this a bunch, but Nightfall is the biggest wild card because I don't know how they play with him because we've only seen a couple weeks worth, and they actually lost 2 of those 3 weeks that he played, if I'm not mistaken, against relatively weak teams.
Yeah.
So all things considered equal with MSS, I feel like TSM was slightly better than them, but with Nightfall, who knows?
It's also a matter of finding the team identity, right? It was, I think it was also part of the problem for, oh, hang on.
Yep. We got Jarex getting gone on again.
He is toast.
Saberlight will get that kill.
Not a very good kill, though, but it is a kill nevertheless.
Why, just because it's Witch Doctor?
Yeah, he's not worth very much right now.
Yeah, the Death Ward. It's all personal with you.
They do get the top tier 1 tower, though, here, EG, so that's good for them. Yeah, so I was going to say, about finding the team identity, I think something that I used to criticize EG for when they had Ramses in the offlane, which unfortunately that team was discontinued and largely because of COVID, right? We never got to see them on LAN.
Yeah.
But EG tended to have these lineups that were very, oh, hang on, Fiend's Grip, relocate.
Yep, Fiend's Grip onto Arteezy from so far away. Wukong's command comes out, but the relocate, easy peasy save.
Yep.
Will likely cost him his life, but certainly worth it.
Yeah, he's just dead. So what I was, wait, he's not dead. They didn't keep Viper around.
He's not worth it, apparently. Okay, nice little juke action there. Crit actually gets... Oh, wait, I thought he got out. Never mind.
He was dead.
Yep, you were right. Well done, Synderen.
Right, so to finish off my thought, when EG were playing with Ramses, I criticized some of their strategies for being very greedy, like a lot of farm needed, because they... Not necessarily because they were playing a player who had been playing a lot of position 1 in the 3 role, but they were specifically drafting for him to scale really hard. He was playing like offlane Nature's Prophet a lot.
Yeah, it was really greedy.
A ton of farm. And I had the same concern with Nightfall in the 3 role, that how is this guy going to play as a serious space maker? And so far, they haven't really inspired a lot of faith in me to see that having that good team dynamic where the space is created and taken as needed. In this game, they've basically sacked him on a scaling hero, right? So to me, that is a little bit questionable, at least this time around. We'll see if they make it work in the end, but...
of course, it's impossible to really know without him being on location. Because
absolutely.
Right?
He might have asked for a different hero, but the lag on voice it sounded like Legion Commander.
I mean...
He was actually saying Sand King.
Would you say...
misheard it.
You think Sand King would be better on higher ping?
No.
Good.
I also don't know if he would have been.
I mean,
better.
he's playing from Mexico, and I believe they're East Coast, right? So that is not going to be great ping.
It's probably fine. It's not.
It's going to be a disadvantage for him versus other people, like especially against TSM.
It's a disadvantage no matter what. Absolutely.
Actually, I'm not sure where TSM are. Are they West Coast?
Good
not sure, actually. because I wonder what the server this is on. It's either east or west.
I'm going to see them smoke up here. Nightfall with the Blink Dagger could find a key pick. He will not. He will run into
the jump in. There's the duel to start things off. Not a lot of damage follow-up. It's not going to get the duel victory, but we'll get the kill shortly after instead. And that's going to be a buyback now onto Dubu. As we have the Eclipse come out from Arteezy with the BKB activated. He's actually using it just to run away. Looks like Jerax is going to be the sacrificial lamb here. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 with the buyback for TSM and EG on full retreat mode.
Yeah, they popped everything except Coil, right? I guess they also have Relocate to get out of trouble, but Arteezy used Eclipse and BKB, and they used Duel. They really don't want this fight right now. You see TSM really trying to punish this. They're going to get the mid-tier 1 tower as the bare minimum. Really quick blink there on that ping from Nightfall.
So no ping issues?
It wasn't that.
Full second later.
Now, do you go Roche too? Because, you know, there are some key things on cooldown for EG, and it does seem to be the case. Like, they take this trade one kill for one, and I love this read from TSM. I don't think EG can really punish this. I wonder if do they have another smoke? I don't think they have another smoke ready. They do now. Just flew in. Regenerate for Storm will make this even better. Yeah, and Tomato with a completed BKB, I think. Flying out? Question mark?
I mean, he has Mithril Hammer.
He does have it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has the casual Yasha, so I thought he might go S and Y, but he's going to wait on that for the next item, I suppose. I mean, does that surprise you considering... I mean, I guess he bought the Mithril Hammer before the Aegis was picked up, so... But if he had the Aegis, I assume he just goes S and Y instead of BKB.
I still think buying the BKB is really good. Okay. Duel.
Yep, Duel. Not going to get the victory. It might get turned around completely as Saberlight will be the one to fall. And the cask slowing things down in the meantime.
Nice pick for EG. Got a lot of gold on Arteezy for that one. And get out freely. All they had to commit was the Relocate and Duel, which it might sound like a lot, but these cooldowns aren't that long compared to the Eclipse that was used previously. And you are doing this while you're playing against an Aegis, right? So if you're EG, you're trying to avoid the 5-on-5 engagement. I don't think you're favored for a while. This troll is just too dangerous with BKB Aegis, so you want to try to find these side lane picks with Duel where you don't get punished too much by the Storm, and they did a really good job there, isolating and killing off the Viper. Worth keeping in mind, there's a lot of dead gold right now on the Viper. I wonder if he's just going to grab the Sange now. He seems to be keeping gold for buyback. Can buy the full Sange here, Saberlight, but is waiting for now. It's a pretty substantial EHP increase to get a Sange here. There's a lot of value in the status resistance as well.
Are you surprised that they don't have a bigger lead on the troll in terms of net worth? It's about 1,000 over Arteezy, who's made quite the comeback considering the start that he had.
I don't think that's too surprising considering how much EG have tailored this map to be Arteezy's to take. The concern I have is that going to be enough? Because, again, the nature of the matchup, Troll against Luna, is that Luna wants to be ahead. And it's kind of one of those situations where, oh, I'm only 1k behind, but really you are, you know, you're behind Troll. You're not behind some other carry that you fare better against later on. As long as he has the equal items, he can itemize specifically to just ruin your game. So it is concerning for EG, and I think the solution for them is possibly going to be coming from Abed. Oh, nice Orchid.
Yep, he has the Yules, gets initiated though on top of it, and finally gets the Yules off. Alright, has the potential to get out, but no, Brain Sap will finish him off. I think, am I mistaken, he had it the whole time? I think he was just waiting to use it.
Yeah, I wonder why he didn't Ul immediately after he got Orchided. Maybe he's trying to delay to get reinforcements so that they can help get him out, because obviously he had used the Orb, and if he Uls the Orchid after Orbing, he won't be able to connect on the Orb in time. Yeah. If you do it immediately after you Orb, then you will connect, but the problem was he got stunned first before he got Orchided, so it wouldn't have lined up very well. I just think he's kind of just doomed there. It was just a very nice setup from Moon Meander. 5k lead now.
Yeah.
It's only getting better. And again, I'm worried for Legion, man. I'm thinking, how do you shine here as Nightfall under these circumstances? I think it's going to be tough.
This feels like a typical Legion game. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're not a big fan of Legion. I know that.
No, not the current state of Legion. But yeah, that's for another day and another podcast, of course. So 5k lead for TSM. And SNY now online for the Troll Warlord, Mr. Tomato.
He's carrying out Basher. I thought maybe he was going to go Scotty here.
Yeah.
A lot of value against Luna. You just get in one attack, you stay on top.
Try to go. They have the silence onto crit as well.
Rude.
BKB popped by Arteezy, but it's not going to matter. This is going to be 2 very high-value kills. Beautiful Orchid usage from Bryle as well to prevent any relocate shenanigans. And TSM just continuing to... Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, when they played last in the tiebreakers for the DPC, it was a 2-0 for TSM, or Undying at the time, and it was not really close. The games were not super close at all.
It's been such a weird development watching EG during this league, right? They start out, it doesn't look good. They get a stand-in, they look better, and then
they start looking really good.
They start looking really good. They like 2-0'd all 3 favorites, I think, aside from themselves. They 2-0'd Zoomers, Undying, as well as Quincy.
Yeah.
And then they get to the tiebreaker and get crushed.
Yep.
That's just a very, very odd development here.
Indeed.
Monkey ult is
Wukongs, but into really nothing here. Is
very defensive ring.
Yeah. Jerax is going to be stuck in place. Oh,
No
not going to have any vision here, so he's going to get out. As the courier died that looked like an Aegis dying. Cool cosmetic.
It ran out. And
timing.
what do we have on Saberlight? Is that Halberd? No, Sanjin Yasha on Viper. Interesting choice. So even more hard-hitting. They are really scaling.
That's interesting.
They are actually... They're kind of pulling off a tricore here, right? Like Viper is going damage items out, aside from the urn, going Dragonlance Sanjin Yasha. You have the Storm scale.
Oh, we have the duel come out, but not a whole lot of damage to follow up. In fact, this duel victory might go the way of TSM. Tomato ends up crushing everybody in his wake, pops that ult at the last moment, focusing on Arteezy, but range form is not going to get it done. Looks like Arteezy should be able to get out, along with the rest of his teammates. TSM, they lose the Monkey King, but that is just a support. The tier 2 tower will fall as a result now. Oh, that's actually a really good death ward from Jerax, but he's going to be stuck all by his lonesome. Bryle completely out of mana, but they're going to be able to clean up Arteezy, and this is looking big time in favor of TSM. They do lose the Storm Spirit, though, as Saberlight not able to find any more. So EG gets something out of it, but anytime Arteezy dies, it feels like it's just a bad fight.
I think given how that fight started, EG should actually be happy with its outcome. I think that duel just doesn't work in a million years. You blink duel with no items on Legion Commander. You blink duel the Troll, who has 2,400 health and the status resistance of Sanjin Yasha. This duel is effectively going to last like 3.7 seconds or something. You're going to see the replay here. So here's the duel. Luna isn't in range yet. This isn't happening. He can immediately when this... They relocate in when the duel ends, right? Like, just pop BKB, go to town. You see, Tomato wasn't even pressured to use ult right away. He's just holding it, chilling for a bit, and then he uses it afterwards. That goes to show like how far that jump was from being successful. If you want to blink duel the Troll here, the Luna as well as Puck actually have to be in range immediately to get off that burst.
Yeah, I mean, their saving grace is just getting that kill on Bryle there.
Yeah,
really.
Just narrowly. That kind of saved it. It still wasn't great, but...
Yeah, this obviously not a good start for EG, but brilliant start for TSM, and they're starting to pull away with this. 11K net worth lead. The next Roshan, we won't know for another 40 seconds when he spawns, but obviously with a Troll Warlord, he can literally solo that at any point. Moon Meander.
Good pick.
All right, that's going to be a dual victory. So Nightfall, I believe that's his first one, if I'm not mistaken. Indeed. Never a good sign for a Legion, obviously.
Yeah, doesn't have much to work with. He's going for a 30-minute Blade Mail here, unless he's going to change his item to BKB. He's queuing up both.
He has the pseudo BKB
with the shard.
The shard, kind of.
All right, Saberlight.
Yep, EG trying to force TSM out. They're going to have to coil a support Bane. And it's going to be a struggle to even get that one, as there's the zip in from Bryle. They're going to focus on the Legion Commander to start things out. They'll find him. Buy back onto the Bane, who just fell as well. I can't speak English right now, so it's just so exciting. He falled all over the place. Jerax gets off a nice cast, but going to get brought down by Tomato.
And Tomato does have that Scotty. He changed away from that Basher, and you just saw it there.
Yeah, that's
nice. One hit in on the Luna, and Arteezy is just slowed to a crawl. Does escape, but he just can't fight back against Tomato. He's way too strong. Tower is gone.
By the way, what is the reasoning for the SNY on Saberlight? Is it just for the status resist on duel? Because it is strange to get on a Viper in general.
if you are going the right-click route, it is actually a pretty decent item on Viper. Together with Dragonlance, you get it's just a feel-good item. All the stats, status resistance, armor. It's just a well-rounded item for a hero that wants to stand and deliver and be tankier. So I think it's fine. You see he's going butter now as well, right? Just all in on that right-click and defensive hybrid build, basically, is what these two items do for you. And I like it. I don't think he needs BKB here at all. I think you just tank up. Tomato has his BKB to ensure that he can stick on target. Viper's goal is to get targeted and not die, but tank as much as possible. And if you don't go on him, he's a carry, right? It's pretty tricky. Abed, got it.
He used a lot of his utility, and that's going to mean a death for Abed. Nice rotation from TSM, kind of setting that trap to some degree. Didn't even notice they have a double Orchid, by the way. So Orchid on the support Moon Meander Monkey King.
He also has Halberd, like
with Halberd on top.
He's more farmed than the Legion. He has 40 CS. Oh, sorry, he has 103. I don't know who had 40. I looked at something else. Oh, that's Jerex. He has 100 CS on Monkey King, actually, so Moon Meander's managed to be pretty effective, and that's one of the upsides to buying Orchid on Monkey King as a support, is that you can farm, right?
Yeah.
Because now you can just use Primal Spring for farming value. With all the mana regen you have, you're still going to be competitive when it comes to fighting in between. Right. This is
Roche number 2.
overwhelmingly likely the game ender here for TSM. They're going to try to use this to finish off what they've
Who
started.
gets the there's no way Tomato gets the shard, right? We've seen this before. I would love to see it again.
Give the shard to Viper, in my opinion.
Yeah, Viper's is pretty god tier.
Oh, he is starting it up on Troll. He's going to...
Hell yeah! Second time we see it.
I guess Rampage for his teammates is really good, right?
More status resist, yeah,
Or
depending
more
on the
attack
form.
speed.
As bottom lane, we have some action. Arteezy takes a bit of damage. There's the grip from Dubu. He's going to get dueled, so that's a cancellation now. Focusing on Saberlight, but Bryle has come to play as well, and Arteezy completely deleted from the map. Still the Aegis to work with. Jerax gets a cheeky kill on the tower, it looks like, but will fall shortly after here. So a 4-for-0 TSM on a completely different level here. But yeah, let's theorize about this shard here, Cinder. And so
yeah,
you get status resist or attack speed based on your current form. So
and
melee, and it switches between the two dynamically.
Yep.
And how long does it last, actually?
5 seconds.
See, that's the problem. It's such a low duration.
Still, if
that's the ult, though.
if you are about to engage the fight as your team and you just press Rampage in melee form and somebody gets dueled,
yeah,
it's pretty short, for example. So it's definitely a big help for his allies. And then he just activates it in melee form, and as soon as, like, if they're ahead and they're trying to fight, you can go ranged form and get an attack speed. It's kind of awkward, but...
See, the thing that's weird is I feel like it should be applied during the ult. It's actually a lower cooldown ult than the Rampage itself. Very strange.
It's definitely a shard that could get a buff.
Yep, the jump in here, and this is looking like the beginning of the end of game number 1 of this best of 3. EG need an absolute miracle here. And, I mean, the one thing about TSM that we've seen pretty much the whole season, other than one game against Quincy Crew, is their discipline has been much better than in previous seasons.
Yeah.
Top lane, yeah. We have Yules to take off that Orchid. All right, the orb is there. And looks like he's going to be fine.
Nice blink. There's the Axe for Puck. And this is sorely needed, but it's just too late, right? The problem here is you can hold people in place as much as you want, but you're losing the fight there as well. Arteezy just can't stand up to the troll. He will man to and try to juke here. Kind of cute play, but Tomato's onto him.
Crit is on top as well. Can he get the heals off? Can he get the ult off? He does.
Good save.
So Arteezy lives, but not sure how much this is going to matter, as the 20k lead is pretty, it feels insurmountable. And this time they will find the kill on to Crit. And that Aegis is still online for 2 minutes, so it's not like they have plenty of time to work with as well. Oh, there's the duel. Wow. Barely gets the duel victory on a Bane.
With help.
Yeah, with help, true. Oh, all right, Jared. Oh, Tomato, he ulted, or was that a Rampage? They have the exact same sound cue.
Yeah, that should probably be changed too. That was Rampage.
I think, my guess is they add these things and they don't bother with a new sound because they don't know if it's going to be a good spell or not. You know what I mean? Like, why waste resources? I mean, if you want, you could email me at any time, and I can just scream into the mic, and that could be Rampage. I'll do it for free.
Yeah, I think I know why they reused the sound.
Okay. And this is going to be a second set of racks if EG does not defend here. That's easy, coupled up with crit. And the power of Troll Warlord when pushing towers is pretty ridiculous. They're going to play it a little bit safe, despite still having that Aegis. And, I mean, I do think, objectively speaking, Viper Shard is far superior than Troll, but I feel like maybe they're just so far ahead, and he's the one hitting the towers mostly at this stage. But it feels like it would go way faster with that Viper Shard. For sure.
Yeah, probably.
But they're just trying it out, you know? Just beta testing it for... Nobody else is buying it. All right. That's the Rampage, I believe.
I believe you're right.
That gives them the attack speed when they're in range form, so that's nice. EG trying to posture on the other side here, but Saberlight, or I should say Nightfall, is going to get caught out, and BKB from Brown not even needed, but regardless, EG at the disadvantage again. So that's 2 set of racks now in TSM's favor. Jerax caught off guard. And EG, I mean, I guess they're still holding, I mean, is that even holding on? Not really.
Saberlight is playing 1v2 in the enemy base.
Yeah, he's a hard kill.
Yeah.
All right, Aegis is gone now.
Tomato had a really bad ult that fight, but they're just so far ahead it doesn't matter. He kind of just got isolated. He used his ult, hit a creep 3 times, and then he had no valid targets in range. But again, EG can't punish because they're so far behind. They can't go into them, and the Viper's actually zone controlling them. Almost satanic now on Saberlight as well.
Yeah.
The ramp up is just nasty here. Swift blink on Tomato. I'd love to see this. I was actually going to suggest him buying Dagger before Basher even, just because it feels like if he gets on top of the Luna, the fight's almost just over there, right? But he did go for the Basher first and then into Swift blink. And either order is obviously completely fine.
They
here.
pass right by each other there.
Yep.
All right. They find the Storm, but not able to get anything off there. And it looks like poor Abed gets dropped to his knees, but does have buybacks, so they still want to fight. 27,000 net worth lead for TSM right now.
Last hurrah here for EG. They buy back their puck and they take the enemy triangle area, hoping to find a fight on their terms. TSM know exactly what's going on, and they're just not going over there.
Yep, more disciplined play from TSM. Very impressive. I mean, this is 3 games in a row that they beat EG. I mean, prior to this season, EG has had their number for so long.
Yeah.
So to kind of get that monkey off their back and then now kind of dominate. Of course, it is just game 1, and it is double a limb. So a lot of time for...
Based on this single game, there is a difference in quality between these 2 teams. But I also do want to see a different strategy from EG.
Yeah, Tomato wants to continue to chase as Jerax is going to get picked off by Bryle, who's trying to focus on Io instead. The Bane's going to be killed, but it's a 1-for-1 support for support. Tomato just ripping through Arteezy. Not even close. Crit is next, and GG's called. So game 1 goes to TSM.FTX, Synderin. Don't know why I keep saying dot. Just makes it easier
Bryle
to say, maybe.
Is thrilled with the victory. All right, Duba smiled. That's fine.
He's a little bit more happy, yeah. But
that'll do.
Game 1 in extremely convincing fashion. I'm not sure if you were expecting. This felt like more of the same from the tiebreakers.
Yeah, I had my concerns with EG's strategy here and the way they